Hello, welcome back to my channel. How's it going? Oh, my microphone is very much in the way. I feel like today's look is serving like an extra on that 70s show, or like Wine Aunt, which is on brand, so great. Today's video is very highly requested. Very highly requested indeed. I'm gonna be talking you guys through a week of workouts for me, what I've been doing every day, what my schedule, workouts, recovery, etc. has looked like over the past few months, specifically over Project 265, because I've been sticking to my routine. I've been on it like Sonic, and I'm feeling amazing and strong. I've been enjoying my workouts, I've been enjoying my training, I've been loving it, and you guys always ask me, what program do you follow? Whose program do you follow? Can you share your workout, etc. And I don't follow anyone else's. I write my own program. I love doing it. I enjoy writing my own program. I have been training long enough now to know what really works for me, what doesn't work for me, what I enjoy, what makes me look forward to my workouts, and also the things that I found really change my body, because we have gone from flat pancake butt to a little bit more peach. We're still working on the peach. There's definitely been some booty gains, some back gains are happening finally. This is part of my ongoing campaign with Fitbit, so thank you Fitbit for working with me. Fitbit plays a huge part in my exercise routine and my movement routine. I wear my Fitbit every day. I track every workout with my Fitbit, and it is a very handy tool which I will be mentioning throughout this video. If you're wondering, oh, here comes the sun. If you were wondering which Fitbit I wear, it is the Sense 2, which is their latest model of Fitbit, and it is chef's kiss. And the color of my strap is Lunar White, for those of you who ask. And it's the aluminium watch. So my current routine is pretty full on. I do train a lot at the moment. I go through peaks and troughs with my training. Sometimes I really strip it back. Like during the summer, I'll pull it right back and focus more on other aspects of my life. Whereas right now, training is a huge priority in my life. Obviously, I'm going through a 10-week cut at the moment, so I'm trying to lose a little bit of fat. So obviously, your exercise routine plays a huge part in that. So I'm being really consistent and sticking to my training plan, which currently looks like 2 upper body days, 2 lower body days, and I do 4 cardio sessions a week. Now, 4 cardio sessions a week may sound like a lot, but once I talk about it, it might make a little bit more sense. So I'm just gonna get my spreadsheet up now. I'm a big spreadsheet fan when it comes to workout. For the past however long, I've set up a spreadsheet so that I can track my lifts every single week and can progress my weights and my reps every single week. Let's start with day 1, which is a lower body day. I like to start my week with honestly my least favorite thing to train, which is glutes and hammies, which used to be my favorite day. But I think once you progress to a really heavy lift on leg day, and you know it's gonna absolutely destroy you, you don't look forward to it as much. But because I am really trying to build that booty, it is a priority. So my workouts usually on average consist of around 6 to 8 exercises, and that will include 2 compound movements, which are movements that involve as many muscles in your body as possible. So we're talking squats, we're talking deadlifts, we're talking military presses, bent over rows, things that engage your core, use a little bit of legs, use arms, shoulders, back, as many muscles as possible. And they are the most physically exerting exercises, and usually the ones that you lift the heaviest with relatively to other things. I start with the 2 heaviest lifts first, because I want as much energy as possible. I want to give those exercises as much as I can. Then I'll move on to more accessories and supersets and lighter weight, higher rep situations later on. On day 1, which is, like I said, glutes and hammies. Sorry, I'm going to be looking to the side quite a lot because I am looking at a spreadsheet. But you're also looking at the spreadsheet, so you're not even looking at me right now. That's fine. That's fine. When it comes to building the butt, an exercise that I recommend you do not skip, you do not underestimate, is the humble hip thrust. Hip thrusts absolutely changed my glutes, 100%, and it's also one of my strongest lift. Last year, I was lifting 180 kilos, which looking back, I'm like, really heavy. very impressive. I'm not there anymore. So for hip thrusts, I will do one really, really heavy set. So that will be around 160 kilograms. And all I'm working for is 1 to 5 reps. And that is just pure strength. So there's 3 different kind of rep ranges. There's strength training, which is a lower rep range, like 1 rep maxes up to 5 reps of an exercise. There's hypertrophy, which I would say is like 6 to 12 reps. 6 to 8 is more like strength hypertrophy, and then 8 to 12 is more pure hypertrophy training. And then there is endurance training, which is your higher rep range from like 10 to 15, maybe 20 reps of an exercise. And that's more to build endurance. I don't do that really ever. I like hypertrophy because hypertrophy training is where you are building the most muscle. But I also like to feel strong. So I do a set of strength for each exercise as well, if that makes sense. I hope that's clear. So yeah, I'll do my strength set for my hip thrust. I'll then move on to 2 kind of heavy hypertrophy sets. So I'll go for between 6 to 8 reps of those for 2 sets. And then I will drop my weight again and I'll go for 8 to 12 reps to really feel the burn. If I'm in a rush, I might skip the last 2 or just do one of the last 2. I have obviously a routine and I have set goals for each workout, but if I'm in a time crunch, sometimes I'll just do 2 sets of each exercise. Sometimes I'll do 3, sometimes I'll do 4 if I'm feeling insane. It is very customizable, so keep that in mind. Not every day will look exactly the same. And then I'll move on to my RDLs. So I use a barbell for my RDLs, which I've only recently started doing in the past month or so. I used to do dumbbell RDLs, but I found that I couldn't get as heavy with a weight. So I can lift a lot more weight using a barbell. So for RDLs, I will do 3 sets of 8 to 12. Okay, this is where it depends on how much time I have. Sometimes I'll do my heavy leg press, and I'll do a high narrow stance, which targets your glutes and your hamstrings. And then I will follow that with split squats, which is the devil's exercise, but it absolutely works. It's incredible for glute growth. It's incredible for glute growth. As much as you hate it, and as much as I like to skip them, if you're trying to build the buns, you gotta do your split squats, I'm sorry. But if I'm feeling like that's the last thing I wanna do, and I never wanna resent a workout, I never wanna not want to work out, or if I don't have a lot of time, I have devised a little loophole where I will combine a leg press and a split squat, and I will do a single leg, high positioned leg press. Come on. So with this, you're still getting that unilateral movement, which is great for evening out any imbalances that you may have, which is great about the split squats. You're also probably able to load a little bit more weight because you're using a leg press and you're not holding the weight. You don't have to worry about your balance because you're sat down. And if you lean forwards while you do it and put that heel nice and high and push through your heel, you feel it in your glutes. And I found it to be a bit of a hybrid between the two. It's not exactly the same as a split squat, and it is just a variation of a leg press, but it definitely feels like it's hitting the right spots. And I actually really enjoy doing them, whereas I hate doing split squats. If you found an exercise that you really enjoy that hits a target muscle group that you're trying to hit, then do it. So I've kind of switched out. I know it says leg press and split squats here, but more often than not, I'll do the single leg press, and it also saves time in my workout as well. It's so much quicker. And then I will do the good old fashioned hamstring curl because we are focusing on glutes and hammies in this workout. So I'll do 3 sets of 8 to 12 again, pushing the weight as heavy as I can. And then finally, I will end it with a little burnout superset situation where I will do good mornings and reverse lunges using a barbell. I only started doing these about 2 weeks ago, so my weight is far too light for what my legs can lift. Like at the moment, I'm using like a 30 kilogram barbell, where I could probably do it with like a 50 kilo barbell if I tried. Because I'm still working on my form and I want to get really confident with it, and because it's a superset and it absolutely destroys me, I'm starting really low with the weight, and I will eventually build it up. But I recommend doing that if you're not confident in an exercise, because I'm definitely not with either of those. My balance isn't very good and I don't want to strain my lower back. Start nice and low and light, and then you can build up to it once your form is groovy. got me? I'll also start my session with a 10-minute incline walk to warm up everything, get me sweating, get me moving and grooving. And it's also your time to like listen to music and get yourself in the zone. It gets you pumped, you know, like I'm ready to destroy this workout. And then once I've finished all of the horror and the pain, I will sometimes stretch. I'm really bad. I often forget / can't be bothered to stretch, but you should. Don't do as I do. And like I said, I track all of my workouts on my Fitbit. So this is what a typical leg day would look like on my Fitbit. This is longer than usual. I'm not normally in the gym for an hour and 40 minutes, but I think this day I bumped into a friend and I ended up chatting to them for ages. Usually my workouts are between an hour to an hour and a half. Hour and a half is definitely on the longer end. I'm usually around an hour and 15, but I take a good significant amount of rest, which you can see here in my heart rate zones. There's a lot of ups and downs, which is what you want. You want to make sure that your heart rate is gone down, you are ready to hit the next set. You want that up, down, up, down. You don't want to constantly keep your heart rate up here when you're doing the kind of training that I'm doing. If you're doing HIIT training or anything like that, you want to keep your heart rate up. But for this kind of training, when you're having a minute to 2 minutes rest, you want to watch your heart rate go down. And I actually track when I'm ready to start my next set based on my heart rate. So obviously if I'm feeling really fatigued, I won't start. I try and make sure that my heart rate's just under 120 before I'm ready to move on to the next exercise, because then I know I've recovered enough from that set and I'm ready to smash the next one, which is something that I've used my Fitbit for years. It's a really handy tool if you're not sure about rest times. Let your body rest, let your heart rate come down a little bit, and your Fitbit will tell you and you'll be ready to start again. And I gained 71 active zone minutes. So that's an active zone minute on Fitbit is where your heart rate is in fat burn mode or cardio. So it's above kind of your standard heart rate. When it's slightly elevated, that's when you're in an activity zone. So that is Monday strength done. Now I'll train in the morning, I'll then come home and I'll get on with my day. I don't stay after I've done my strength and do half an hour cardio on the treadmill like a lot of people do, or 20 minutes cardio on the treadmill. I find treadmill cardio so soul destroying. It's so boring to me. And a 10-minute treadmill warm up in the morning. Oh, hello son, how's it going? 10 minutes warming up on the treadmill is long enough. I watch a YouTube video, I need to be somehow engaged. But that's it. That's all I can do. I used to be really into my running. I don't run anymore. I used to go on a couple runs a week. I don't really do that anymore. I'd quite like to get back into my running, but I've wanted to keep my cardiovascular health in check. Just, you know, your heart is a muscle as well that also needs to be exercised. I do like to do some slightly more intense cardio than uphill walking. Honestly, Monday is my favorite cardio, and you guys have seen me talk about this so many times. On a Monday night, I go to a step class. Step aerobics is where it is at, you guys. It is so fun. It doesn't feel like a workout because you're thinking so hard about what your feet are doing and you're trying to learn the choreography every week that you don't even have time to feel out of breath. You don't have time to get tired. You're constantly thinking while you're moving. It's really engaging and keeps me super entertained. I love it. It's a really lovely group of people that I do it with, and I enjoy it so much. Out of my 4 cardio sessions, it's probably the least intense of the 4, which is good because it's on my most intense lifting day. And it's also nice because it kind of shakes out my legs after a really heavy workout in the morning. Also, if you want to build your calves, step. I don't train calves. I've never trained calves. I refuse to train calves because my calves are huge, and I know that a lot of people grind to grow their calves. It is genetic. I'm genetically blessed with big calves, but my calves have grown since doing step. If anything, I don't want them to grow. But if you want to grow some calves, I highly recommend step classes. Honestly, the first time I ever did step, that was the only part of my body that ached. My calves. It was crazy. And that is my first leg day and my first cardio session done and dusted. So this is my step workout stats. I left my Fitbit on accidentally, which is why it's so low at the end. I left it turned on the drive home. So it's only 45 minutes. So the first 45 minutes is what it is. It keeps my heart rate up, but it's only ever at a peak when we're like running through it, because there's quite a lot of standing, going through steps in slow motion and learning the steps. So it's not a consistent 45 minutes of intense cardio, which is why I say it's the more gentle of the 4. On to Tuesday. So Tuesday is probably my most chilled day. It is my upper body, chest and shoulder and triceps. I'm honestly sat down for the vast majority of the workout. And I do this with my friend Scarlett. We always train chest and shoulders together. I said it in a vlog recently. I love training chest and shoulders with another woman because we are similar strength. We can really encourage each other, but we're both working within like a level of strength that we're both on. So rather than training with the boys, which I do love to do because, you know, they really push you, it can be a little bit discouraging when you see them bench pressing your deadlift PR, you know, like we're on completely different planes at this stage. Just you wait, I'll outlift them one day. Genetically, experience-wise, they are just as significantly stronger. It's the one day where I need a spot more frequently, like I need someone to help me lift the weight, I need someone to help me if I fail a lift. So training with a training buddy on this day is a game changer, and it also makes me really enjoy the session. Because I absolutely murdered my legs on Monday, all I do on the Tuesday is my upper body. So start with my dumbbell chest press, which is a muscle group I'm really trying to grow. I want to work on my chest, my bench press. So I do dumbbells week to week, and then every once in a while, when I'm feeling brave, I would bench and see what my weight's looking like. And I do 3 sets of 8 to 12 for that. Moving on to shoulder press, which is one of my favorite exercises of all time. I do, again, 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps on this one. Okay, moving on to a more compound move. This is a military press, which is a form of shoulder press. And it's like a strict military press with a barbell. Keep your elbows tucked, you push it right up. It friggin' hurts. It hurts. I'm using like a 25 kilo barbell, and that is so heavy to me, and it's really not that heavy. They really hurt, and the key is to not use your legs at all, but sometimes your girl bounces, okay? It's hard, it's rough out there. And then I superset that into 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps, vertical raises. So it's kind of like you're churning butter, you know? And that's working your shoulders as well. And let me tell you, that superset hurts. It burns, but it feels so damn good. At this point, my shoulders are on fire. They are screaming at me. So I move on to my little baby triceps that I am slowly but surely growing. And I do 2 exercises for my triceps, but because they're such a teeny tiny muscle, I can't do them back to back with each other because they just burn. I start with a skull crusher, which is using a bar again. Lower it down over your head, and then you push it up using just your tricep, and it really hurts once you get to the end of it. But they're so good, and you feel it. I feel it for like 3 days after I do skull crushers. Once you get the form right, you're flying. They're great. Oh my goodness, I forgot lat raises. I skipped an exercise. Lat raises is a personal favorite. I love lat raises because I am really strong with them, because very typical of me. I just created this vendetta in my head because lat raises get a really terrible rep of being like the hardest exercise ever and really humbling, and you have to use like a really low weight. So I decided that I didn't want that to be the case for me. So relatively to the rest of my lifts, I became freakishly strong in lat raises. I was lat raising like 10 kilograms, which is really heavy for a woman of my size and strength everywhere else. I was bench pressing at this time. I was bench pressing like 12 kilograms and I was lat raising like 10. It was just this weird thing that I got in my head. I now lat raise 8 kgs. I've dropped it down a little bit because I'm not. It used to be the first exercise I would do. Like my priority first exercise on chest day would be lat raises. Sorry, I got distracted. My SD card ran out of memory, and then I changed it, and then I went on my phone for 1 second just to check a message. I've been scrolling for 10 minutes. Stay focused, Emma. Stay on task. Also, the sun has just well and truly gone in. Sorry, it's really dark. I'm starting to look a little bit da-da-da-da, if you know what I mean. Where was I? The lifelong question. Where am I? Oh yeah, my vendetta against lateral raises. Yeah, we do 3 sets of 8 to 12 lateral raises. That's an excellent shoulder exercise. So then if I do hate myself afterwards, I'll move on to a cable lateral raise, which is even harder because it's constant tension. Am I okay? No, I'm not. Constant tension because the cable keeps resistance. So they burn, and then I'll superset that to front raises as well, but sometimes we skip that superset depending on time. And then while I'm at the cable machine, we will finish off with one more tricep exercise, which is a tricep push down, and I use a straight bar for that, or I'll use ropes depending on what's free, because equipment isn't always available, so you got to work with what you are given, babe. Oh, and the sun is back and I am looking very warm. I will go for a walk with Scarlett. Usually we'll do like a half an hour little coffee walk. We'll go get a coffee and go for a walk around the park just to get my steps in, because every single day I get at least 10,000 steps. That is something that I aim to do every day, even on my rest days. But usually when I do my cardio and I do a strength session, because I walk to and from the gym, 10,000 steps is very easily achieved. But because on a Tuesday I don't have an evening cardio session, I'll go for a walk and get the rest of my steps that way. Tuesday is a light, gentle day. Obviously, I'm lifting as heavy as I possibly can, but it's nowhere near as exhausting as a leg day. So it's a much gentler day, and I'm giving my legs the complete day off to rest. My heart rate for chest triceps is significantly lower. It's about 100 beats per minute to 110 beats per minute. But again, we have our peaks and our troughs in our heart rate. As you can see, I burn significantly less calories on an upper body day. Do not focus on your calories when you're trying to see whether you've had a successful workout. Have you pushed yourself hard? Have you added extra reps? Have you added extra weight? Do you feel positive and good after the session? That's what matters. Don't focus so much on the calories burned, because that is not an accurate depiction on your progress. Okay? We don't exercise to burn off calories. Okay, let's get that mindset shifted. Moving on to Wednesday. Now, Wednesday is either a complete rest day or it is quad day. It depends what my weekend plans are looking like, honestly. Sometimes I'll train on the weekends if I'm not busy or going out, but if I know I've got a busy weekend, I just try and get my sessions in, and then I'll take the weekend basically off. So Wednesday, we're moving on to quads, baby. And I say that I hate glutes and hammies, but actually I hate quads even more. I always start my quad days with a deadlift, a conventional deadlift. This is my hip thrust equivalent. So we're going for one set of 1 to 5 reps. So as heavy as I could possibly go. 2 sets of a kind of middle ground hypertrophy. So 6 to 8 reps. And then we'll do 1 set if we have the time of 8 to 12 reps, where I really lower the weight, but really focus on going slowly, focusing on my form and time under tension. I don't squat, really. I don't do a barbell squat, which is controversial because it's one of the primary movements that everyone's like, I'm working on my squat. I hate squats. I hate them. I don't enjoy them. I find them really scary, and I don't know why. I know that my strength is there. I know that my form is there, but I just find them scary. No matter how much I practice them, I find them nerve-wracking doing them on my own. So instead of a traditional barbell squat, I do hack squats on a hack squat machine, which I find less intimidating. And I also find it much easier to target the muscle I want to target. If you put your feet higher on the hack squat, it's basically like a reverse leg press. Put your legs higher, you're focusing more on your glutes, and lower, you're focusing more on your quads. So I will do a quad dominant hack squat, 3 sets or 4 sets, depending on my time, of 8 to 12 reps. By the time I've done these 2 exercises, I'm already knackered and I want to go home. But now it's time for accessories. Sometimes I'll skip this depending on how tired I am, but I'll go over to the leg press machine and I will do 3 sets of 8 to 12 on a quad dominant leg press. So again, your feet are narrow and lower down on the machine, which will target your quads more and take weight off of your glutes and your hamstring. We're talking about quads today. Another horrible exercise, leg extensions. Oh, they hurt. They hurt so much because they really just pinpoint that one place where you're gonna feel the burn, and you do, and it's brilliant and awful at the same time. Leg extensions, again, 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. It is killer. It's killer. but it's amazing for your quad development. Gotta get it done, babe. And then finally, I will finish off with a little superset of abductors and adductors. So you're working your outer, your like hips and your inner thigh. I'll do 3 sets of 8 to 12 of each exercise. I'll do 8 to 12 on the abductor machine, then I'll scurry over, because they're right next to each other, I'll scurry 2 paces over to the adductor machine and I'll do the same, rest, and repeat 3 times. I like to put that at the end because you're sat down, and honestly, by the end of quad day, I can barely stand. So having the last 2 exercises being seated exercises is a blessing. And it makes me more likely to do it. Like if you're gonna do your last exercises like walking lunges or something, I'm not gonna do that at the end. I won't be able to stand up. And I know that's probably really good and it would probably make more progress, but I'm less likely to do it. So doing things you're actually gonna follow through with are more important than what might be optimal, in my opinion. Consistency is more important. Quad day roughly takes me about 1 hour and 15, 1 hour and 20 minutes. And this is my stats. As you can see again, heart rate is going up and down, which is what we want. Think about it like an engine, like a car engine. Going from stagnant to accelerating uses a lot of energy. When you're consistently cruising, it doesn't use as much energy. So having that stop and then revving back up again is using energy. That's kind of how I see having this time, and it means you can really push your peak. No cardio on Wednesday. I'll go for an afternoon walk if I need to. As long as I get 10,000 steps throughout the day, I am happy, I'm golden. We've now had 2 days with no cardio. And then we reached Thursday, which is the biggest day of the week. We have double cardio on this day, which is not something I would usually recommend, but it is just the timings and how it works out for me. Dun, da, da, da. Back day, which is my favorite day of the week. I love training back so much. Now I don't always train on a Thursday. I sometimes, if I train on a Wednesday and I'm free on Friday, then I'll take Thursday morning off. If I don't train on a Wednesday, I will train on a Thursday. So this is kind of up for what I'm doing and how things are fitting. So we have back day, my favorite muscle group to train at the minute. I'm really focusing on it and I'm really excited because I'm starting to see some back definition come through, which I've been wanting for so long. Now that I'm shedding a little bit of fat, it's starting to show and I'm really excited about it. I start with pull-ups. So I use an assisted pull-up machine and I do 3 sets of 5 to 9. Pull-ups are an amazing compound movement and they suck. And I hate them, and I'd love to be able to do them without the machine, but again, I'm a bit nervous. I find them quite a scary exercise. We don't do 8 to 12 on these ones because we're focusing purely on strength with this. Moving on over to probably my favorite exercise, the lat pull down. I superset a lat pull down overhand wide grip with a narrow grip underhand. So it focuses on different parts of the back. Underhand actually brings in more of your bicep because it is back and bicep day. So supersetting it targets 2 different parts of your back in one meaty, delicious superset. And I do 3 sets of each of those exercises, 8 to 12 reps each. I used to do a cable row, but I've just recently moved on to a machine row, which I find it easier to get my form right, and I really feel it more in my back when I do it with a machine. So I do 3 sets of 8 to 12 on the machine rower. Make sure you're squeezing your shoulder blades together, feeling the burn. Juicy, delicious, succulent. And then onto one of my favorite supersets, which is the straight arm lat pull down and the face pull. 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps of each. I will do my straight arm lat pull down and then I will go straight into face pulls. And this, I really feel my lats when I do the straight arm. And then face pull is the top of your back if you want those little dimples at the top of the back, which I think are really, really cute personally. Yeah, by the end of that superset, you will be absolutely feeling the burn. It's great. It's just what you want. You want to feel the burn. I missed an exercise. I'm so sorry. I'm looking too high up on the spreadsheet and I've changed things around recently. So before I go into my face pulls and my straight arm lat pull down, I will do cable bicep curls, which are brutal. It's the same as a cable lat raise. Constant tension using the cable, which means at every single point of the exercise, your bicep is screaming at you. I never let it go all the way down. I always keep it at slight tension. So I never completely relax my bicep before pulling it back up, and I do 8 to 12 reps 3 times. before I then go into my pull downs and face pulls. You'll see I try to kind of break up my tricep and shoulders and my bicep and my back so that I have a little bit of time to recover, so I can really push them hard when I do my sets focusing on that muscle. So I will then do the good old fashioned bicep curl. I'll do alternating arms. I will do 8 to 12 reps, 3 sets of that, and that is my final exercise for back day. My favorite workout of the week. I absolutely love back day. Don't know what it is, just really enjoy training it. Back day makes me feel really strong. Really strong, I love it. Here is my back day stats. 1 hour and 20 minutes is about right for back day. Again, I will go home. I will be sat on my sofa all day editing, doing whatever I do. And then Thursday night is my heaviest cardio of the week. I haven't trained my legs this day. I wouldn't do legs and then this in the evening, no way. So I have 1.5 hours of cardio, which is a lot, and I will admit that, but I love it and I don't want to give up one or the other, so I do both. Starting with a spin class. I do spin at the same place that I do my step class. It's 45 minutes of intense spin class, and it burns your quads, it burns your glutes, it burns everything, and it gets my heart rate high. As you can see from my Fitbit data here, my heart is pumping. I'm averaging about 135 beats per minute. It's a 45-minute class, but it's about 35 minutes of like hard work. It's like a 5-minute warm up, 5-minute cool down and stretch. So it's about 35 minutes of intense spinning. It's a combination of like climbs and sprints. So there is kind of respite, like there's times where it's really, really slow and heavy, and then times where it's really fast and just exhausting. But it's honestly my favorite. I love it. It's like euphoric. I've been spinning twice a week, every week for about 4 years. I love spin so much. And then straight after spin, I have a 45-minute dance class, which varies in its difficulty. So recently my dance instructor has added a 5-minute ab circuit to the end, which I like because you'll notice I haven't trained abs once. This is my only ab work I do a week. I do 5 minutes of abs once a week, and that's it. Because I do engage my core in like the majority of my compound movements. That's the excuse that I give, but I should probably do some more isolated ab work, but I don't. This is it. It's like a 5-minute warm up, 30 minutes of dancing. It's not like intense dance class. It's more just like dance fitness. And then 5 minutes of an ab circuit at the end, which just kills me. And these are my stats for my dance class. Actually, on this dance class, it was probably more intense than the spin class. It just depends on which songs we dance to. Some of them are faster, some of them are slower. By the end of Thursday, I am absolutely wiped. Friday is usually another rest day because Thursday was so damn intense. But if I took Wednesday as a rest day and I trained on Thursday, I'll do my back on Friday. I'll move it around because I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday as wiggle room where I can, if I skip a session throughout the week, I can put them on one of those days. If I'm feeling completely insane, I have programmed a second glute day. Rarely gets done, but sometimes if I'm really feeling it, I will. I'll do lighter weights on my second glute day. It's more just to get them moving, get them engaged, remind them that they exist, give them a little pump. But it's not my heavy day. So again, I will start with hip thrusts, which I do on every single glute and hammy day, and I'll do 3 sets of 8 to 12. So we're skipping the heavy sets here and just doing the 3 hypertrophy sets. Moving back on to RDLs again, barbell RDLs exactly the same. I'll then do my leg press again, but then I will do glute kickbacks. I'll do 3 sets of 8 to 12 of those on the cable machine. Step ups are an amazing glute exercise that I've just started incorporating into my routine. They really burn your glutes. If you lean forwards and take most of the weight off of your lowering leg, it is killer. It's killer. Finally, I will do glute focused hyperextensions, hunching forwards, really squeezing the glutes at the top, pushing in with your hips at the pad, and I'll do that with either a dumbbell or a plate, holding that in front of me, and it is killer. So I'll either do that on a Friday or a Saturday if I feel like it. It is optional. If I was really focusing like really hard on glute growth at the moment, I would be doing this every single week as well as my other one. I think training glutes twice a week when you're really focusing on growing them is, for me, I found that was when my glutes definitely developed the quickest, 100%. Like I noticed some serious growth doing that, but at the moment, because I'm training so much in general, as long as I hit every muscle group hard once a week, I am happy. So if I was to do that, that would look a little bit like this. Because everything is a little bit lighter, my rest is a little bit lower, so you can see that my heart rate stays consistently up because I feel kind of ready to move on a bit quicker, rather than doing really heavy sets where I feel like I need to sit down.
Time has been so hard on us, my friend. Sun goes down, but we get back again. Trouble is a silly thing, it always ends up breaking, but everything still works out in the end. No matter what they call it, no matter what they want it, they don't know there's no way they'll ever get it. Wind just blows, but we keep on standing. We'll call it whatever that we want it. Don't you know there's no way they will ever get it? Wind just blows, but we keep on standing.
And then finally, Saturday morning, I have my second spin class. Cardio is on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So there are days in between where I either rest or just do strength. I actually at the moment have been doing a 1 mile run on a Saturday straight after spin, which you can see here. Running is no longer my thing. I hit 181 beats per minute. We need to build up that endurance a little bit there, Ems. Me and my spin instructor straight after spin will do a run, just because she's doing a challenge where she's running a mile a day at the moment. So she just asked if I want to do it with her. So now I do it with her every week, and it's actually quite nice. We just have a little catch up and have a little jog, and it's not like a run, it's like a light jog. It's like a 10-minute little finisher at the end of spin, and it's actually really nice. And then Sunday, we're dead to the world. I'm not moving. I am, however, getting 10,000 steps. So I'll usually go for a walk on a Sunday, either on my own, or I'll ask someone if they want to grab a coffee and go for a walk. Being completely stagnant is when I seize up and when I get really sore. So just making sure I'm moving a little bit on a Sunday and just kind of flushing out those legs a little bit after potentially a second glute day is really nice. And also I'm hitting 10,000 steps because of Project 265. So an active rest day, you could call it, but I don't do anything that would really be considered a workout, unless sometimes I do a bit of yoga if I'm feeling really sore, just so that I'm ready for the next week. I'll sometimes do a little yoga flow and stretch myself out a little bit and work on my flexibility. That, my friends, is a week of working out with me. I'd say I'm consistent 85% of the time with the 4. Sometimes I might skip 1, but I really, at the moment, I'm trying not to. But if I do, then I'm not hard on myself. And Fitbit has a really cool tool called your readiness score. And they basically incorporate your sleep, your heart rate, and it uses that to figure out your readiness to exercise. So it's kind of like your recovery sensor. It gives you a score, and if I'm ever under 30, then I know maybe today I should take a rest day. Like if it gets to Wednesday and I'm like, do I train today or do I take it as a rest day? I'll look at my readiness score and I'll be like, oh, okay, maybe I should rest today. Or okay, if I'm not feeling it really fatigued in myself, then I will train. And I think that that's a really cool, quite a unique feature that Fitbit has that I really, really like. I think could come in really handy, and it can help prevent potential overtraining or burning yourself out. It will tell you like, you're not ready. Your readiness score is saying you're not ready. Whew. I've been talking for nearly an hour and 45 minutes. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. That is the tea. That is my workout schedule, every aspect of my workout routine at the current moment, and I'm really enjoying it. It's sustainable for me. I am privileged enough to be in control of my time, especially working with Fitbit, currently a part of my job to train. So for me, it's a huge priority. This doesn't have to be what you do, but a lot of people have been asking me how I've been lifting and what I do in the gym, and this is it. This is what I've been doing for the past couple of months, and I love it. I love lifting. But if you don't enjoy the things that I do, if you don't like spin, if you don't like weightlifting, then find something that you love and that you enjoy. This is only consistent for me and achievable for me because I love it. If I didn't enjoy an aspect of this, I wouldn't be doing it and I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. It's so important that you find a form of exercise that makes you happy, that makes you feel good and empowered and strong, because being consistent in something is way better than killing yourself doing something that you don't enjoy, that you're not going to be able to keep up. Who is messaging me? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will link my Fitbit Sense 2 down below in the description if you would like to check it out for yourself. I hope you have the absolute best day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!